The Labor Day weekend kicked off with troubling news from the Labor Department. No new jobs added nationwide last month. Unemployment remains at 9.1%. Democratic House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi blames Republicans. Republican House Majority Leader Republican Eric Cantor blames Democrats. Who does Webster University's Dean Dr. Benjamin Akande blame? Or does he transcend the blame game in the ivory tower? I don't know.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You don't blame anybody.
This dean doesn't blame anybody, and I think that we need to go beyond the blame game. But one thing is obvious: as we celebrate this Labor Day, the labor market is in turmoil, and when you have an unemployment rate of 9.1%, and the recent report that there were no new jobs created in the month of August, the future looks very uncertain right now.
You know, some look at it as primarily on the left at the corporations, and they say it's a conspiracy. They're trying to make the president look bad. On the right, they're saying, hey, there is no optimism. You need that in a capitalistic society. Why would anybody invest? Corporations are not there to hire people. That's not their. They're there for a profit, to make a profit.
Yeah, they're not. The corporations are not working for the government, and they're making decisions based on their particular needs. But what exists in America today is an unemployment rate that is based on a lack of consumer demand. Americans are not spending. They're very apprehensive, given the fact that that uncertainty that I speak about. And so what has resulted is that we've got unemployment, we have underemployment, and a lot of Americans are underwater. And when you have that three combination, it means that things are going to get frozen for a while until we see some action, from the government that demonstrates that there's a level of confidence in this economy.
We don't make anything anymore. You know, manufacturing. I was looking at some of these stats. 1965, 53% of the United States economy was based on what we made, manufacturing. 2004, it was down to 9%. It's even lower now.
Well, we don't make much anymore, but we are a consuming society in which a significant portion of our population are in the service industry. And that's fine. I think we're still viable as a country. But what we need to do right now is job preservation and then also job creation. And on the job preservation side is we got to make sure that we can keep the jobs that we have, meaning the jobs, the employment right now that we have in the United States. That's going to be a major issue. And as the president speaks to the nation again on Thursday, my point to him would be, this should not be just another speech about how dire the situation is, but we need to find a way to look at the short-term and long-term resolution to this. And so I look forward to see what would happen there. And my point is I think we need to focus on extending the unemployment benefits. I think that clearly needs to be an option discussed. We need to extend temporary payroll tax for all workers, which is something that will most likely create about $160 billion more in terms of money into the American pockets, and maybe preserve about 1.5 million jobs right now.
Some people get angry when this is brought up, but the unemployment benefits, if you're going to extend them, why not create a program or programs like we had back in the 1930s? WPA, the workers program, CCC camps, where people go out and work and actually you get something for the money that is going into the unemployment.
Well, you got a good point there. And one of the options being proposed is what we call the Highway Trust Fund, to reauthorize that. And if we reauthorize the Highway Trust Fund, it would in essence be able to generate more jobs. And the prediction is that it will create about 120,000 jobs for a year for the next 5 years. That's the kind of probably proposal that you're talking about. Also, we're looking at a $50 billion school renovation program that is aimed at basically renovating schools around the country, high schools, primary schools around the country, and that in essence also will create some significant job creation. And then lastly, we have found that 18% of the current unemployment rate is basically kids under 24 years old. When I say kids, adults under 24 years old. That's a significant population. What are we doing with those folks? I mean, many of them are coming to the job market for the very first time, and they're unemployed. And so there should be programs that are focused on ensuring that these young people are employed. I think those are the challenges that we have to face. The mortgage situation, the folks that are underwater, the bankruptcy issue. I would like to see some viable options come out of our conversation moving forward beyond Labor Day.
All right. Dr. Akande, thanks so much for coming in again.
It's always my pleasure.
Happy Labor Day.
Thank you.
Angie?
All right. Thanks, guys.